Warning: the following video is a parody of the Everything Wrong With series of videos by CinemaSins. Most viewpoints and opinions shared are not intended to be taken seriously since they do not reflect my actual opinions on the game. So without any more delays, time for me to make fun of another one of the most nostalgic games of all time to me, and again, possibly millions of other people out there, and I hope you enjoy the video. So, Shooting Range is heavily inspired by the game Duck Hunt on NES, since just like in Duck Hunt, this entire game takes place on one screen, and during each level of the game, a duck will appear on screen, and you can score extra points if you manage to successfully shoot it down. Plus, these ducks look very reminiscent to the ones from Duck Hunt. Also, level 3 is the clay pigeon shooting game, which was also a part of Duck Hunt. The one thing from Duck Hunt that didn't carry over was the dog appearing on screen, taunting you if you missed a duck. I think the reason behind why that's the case is because they figured players would try and shoot the dog once it popped up on screen, which I can understand why that would be considered a problem and a reason to not include it in the game. But was there really no way to try and get around it? I say something they could have done was, when the dog appears on screen, if someone tries aiming at it, a barrier would spawn in front of the dog, and if the player shoots at said dog, not only would the barrier block the shot completely, but it would also penalise the player by taking away 5 points, giving players a reason to not aim at the dog, and to also add in the most iconic feature of Duck Hunt in this Duck Hunt inspired game. Wait, does that can say Wii on it? There is a soda brand in the Mii universe called Wii? What kind of soda is Wii? Is it cola? Is it Sprite? Is it cream soda? What is it? What the heck? There's 6 of me now? Who cloned my Mii 6 times? Did the copies from Wii Sports Tennis just run amok and end up here in this field altogether? I think you guys would have had a better chance of escaping abduction if you all chose to split up and run in different directions, instead of all staying together on this one screen. Also, first Mii death ever? I don't know. What did the aliens here even want with these Miis? Standing in the middle of the street. Not looking both ways before or while crossing the street. And also, running on the street. How far did all these Miis go in the ocean? I don't see any of them equipped with any swim gear, like a snorkel or anything else to help them breathe more effectively while in the water. Although, I guess that doesn't really matter, because somehow, none of these Miis ever get tired out from all the swimming they are doing here. How convenient for them. They could survive in space too? Without the use of spacesuits? But space has no oxygen. How do the Miis even work if they don't even need oxygen in order to breathe? Standing in the middle of the street at night. But then again, where are the lampposts? This guy can somehow fall asleep and remain standing. Try that in real life and see where that gets you. Why does the time limit only max out at 120 seconds? Seems kinda unrewarded to complete a level quickly when you still got more than 110 seconds left on the timer. So the person who I'm rallying the ball back and forth with is this random floating hand with a red sleeve. I can kinda understand why I'm just a floating hand too from my perspective. You could think of it as like a POV kind of thing, but it's honestly kinda strange seeing that my opponent is also just a floating hand with no visible body. It couldn't have been a randomly generated Mii, or any that I made on the Mii channel? Why do these guys only get impressed by our insanely long rally if we get a score of 100 or higher? I get it, you first have to get a score of 100 before you were able to challenge yourself to keep a rally going for as long as you can. But look at how fast we are going here, even before we hit a triple digit number. Is this speed not considered impressive enough by the audience to clap for if our rally ended here? Game. This is level 5 of 15. We are not that far in yet, and you are spawning bubbles near the bottom of the screen, which, may I remind you, if a bubble manages to reach the bottom, I lose one of my 3 lives. Are you seriously trying to make me panic this early on? Also, I'm kinda confused as to where I am in every level. Like, does this game take place in a giant bubble which my Mii is inside of, which is slowly floating towards whatever the level's background is, like a duck or a flower? I kinda wanna know. Hold up, is that supposed to be a hockey puck? Or a slice of pineapple? Laser hockey is one of 2 games that you can actually fail and score 0 points, the other game being charge. Tanks is also kinda true, but who loses all 3 of their lives on stage 1 in that game? I can kinda understand that here for losing the match against your opponent, but how come scoring a tie means I also end the game with 0 points? I didn't lose the game, so why is the punishment just as severe as losing the match? Couldn't my score just get cut in half or something? That sounds reasonable enough, don't you think? But don't worry, there is a guaranteed way to win here. If your opponent scores and you're still ahead, then just don't hit the puck at all. The timer will still count down anyway. How much money do you think it costed the player me to commission this cue ball with his own face on it? Where is the audience in this one? We could at least see a crowd coming together in table tennis, but here, I cannot see a single person anywhere in the vicinity. Where are the crowd's cheers and boos even coming from? And also, watch this. Did the audience just clap and boo at the same time? Or is there like 2 sides to the audience? Like a clapping and motivational side of the audience on the left side, and a booing audience which puts the player down with negativity on the right side? Which, if that's the case, then f*** you, right side. F*** you! Why are these fish even bothering to go after the hook? There's no bait on it for them to bite on. No worm, no insect, nothing that a fish would likely go out of its way to try and eat. Small fry. Just small fry. Catch one of these little jerks who latch onto your fishing rod immediately, and you'll lose 50 points. What more can I really say about this fish? Mystery fish? To be honest, I think all these fish should be considered a mystery fish, considering they all just spawn into this pond out of nowhere, the same way the mystery fish itself does. Wait a minute. This is not even a real cow. So, is it a costume, or is it a machine? Just like in laser hockey, if you don't make it to the end, well, too bad. Your final score is 0, making every scarecrow you hit on the way all for nothing. My guy is somehow still maintaining his balance while the cow is jumping despite not holding onto it anymore. Also, how does this cow manage to jump without bending its legs first? Even if it was a machine, as I previously mentioned, it would still need to bend its legs first in order to get itself off the ground. If you thought the aliens from shooting range shouldn't count as the first time where a Mii can die, then tanks no doubt would fit that merit. And just like the enemy tanks in this game, an X is marked on the spot where you died. Well, unless you still have lives remaining, which in that case, all the X's on the field disappear, which is kinda unsettling. What the hell is this difficulty spike? So the green tanks get introduced in stage 12, and holy shit. Despite being one of the 2 tanks in this game that doesn't move at all unless someone else pushes it, it still manages to be one of the most aggravating enemies I've ever encountered in any game I've ever played. Solely for the reason that their shots are the only ones in the entire game that can ricochet off of walls twice, and it feels like every shot they make is meticulously planned out, like they always know where I'm gonna move to next. But you know what's more aggravating than fighting 2 of them on one stage? How about 3 green tanks? What? That's still not enough? Well then, how about this? 6 f***ing green tanks in this one stage alone. And if you're really unlucky, you will likely die immediately to this psychopath just chilling right in the middle. So, f*** the green tanks for every stunt they can pull in this game. And also f*** stage 17 in its entirety. This stage is the absolute worst. And don't think you could just go right to stage 21 after beating stage 20. No, no, no. You can only do that after you beat stage 20 once already. I would know, because I got that far during an attempt that I played off camera. Just why? Why did it have to be like this? There is one more thing I do have to say about tanks though. In 2-player, the game is over if both players die in the same level, and while that's a fine enough distinction to set itself apart from single player, nothing can stop both players from trying to kill each other, because if you kill your opponent, you can just farm all the enemy tanks for yourself, giving you an unfair advantage, unless you die immediately to another enemy tank, which in that case, as I already said, it's game over. So you're essentially taking a pretty big risk if you choose to be a dick to the other player.